What is up, everybody? Today I'm going to be doing my October election prediction video. So, this is not just going to be, we're not just going to be going over the presidential election. I'm also going to go over the Senate, and I'm also going to be doing my first and maybe last, I might do another one in November, but my first governor's election prediction. I'm sure that'll be interesting. But yeah, as of right now, we are going to be doing the presidential election prediction. So we are going to start with the safe states, like always. Safe states for Donald Trump. I think we all know the safe states by now, so I'm just going to cut to that. All right, this is all of the states that I believe each candidate will win by 15% or more. If you don't know, I use the margin 15% or more is safe, anywhere between 15 and 5% is likely, anywhere between 5 and 1 is lean, and anywhere less than 1 is tilt. That's what I use. I know some YouTubers don't use that, but that's the thing that I use. So, we filled in all of these safe states. Now there are a few states like Missouri, Alaska, Iowa on Trump's side, and then New Jersey, New York, Oregon on Harris's side. States like this, I think, are 100% going to go to that candidate. It's just that I think it'll be slightly below 15%. Like Missouri, I think it'll be like upwards of 14%, but not quite 15%. That's where I think Missouri is going to kind of land. Same story with Ohio. I think it'll be, it may not be double digits. It could be double digits. I don't know. Polling right now shows that it's definitely possible for Trump to hit double digits in the state of Iowa. I just don't know if it's possible yet. Ohio, not Iowa. Speaking of Iowa, I think Iowa, Trump can most likely will crack Iowa above 10%. So it'll definitely be likely as well. Alaska, I think, will also be likely. No way it's breaking for Harris in this election. I know some polls have it really close, like 5% in favor of Trump, but it'll be way more than that on Election Day. Come on. So now for Harris, we got Oregon. I believe it'll still definitely be above 10%. I think it'll be closer than it has in like a few elections, but it's not going to even come close to breaking for Trump. Same with New York and Jersey. I think especially New York, I think for some odd reason, Trump has been paying New York a lot of attention. I don't know why. I don't know if he genuinely believes he can win it, or if he's trying to maybe he's trying to win the popular vote, and that's why he's campaigning in New York so much, because he can win more votes from New York. That'll win him the popular vote. I don't know. But either way, he's been campaigning in New York, and it will have some effect, I believe. I think it'll definitely crack it. In a Trump best case scenario, I think New York cracks under 10%, like 9 or 8% in a best case scenario for Trump. In a regular scenario, though, it's going to be like 12, 13% for Harris. Texas has definitely been getting a lot closer, but I don't think this is the election where it cracks under 5. Same with New Mexico. And I also think Minnesota and Virginia will also be slightly above that. Actually, no, Virginia I think will be slightly less than that 5% margin. Minnesota I think will be slightly above. Maine, I also believe that Maine will be going to Harris by slightly under 15. We have most of just the swing states left. Florida, that's going to Trump fairly easily. And yeah, now we just have the major swing states, except for New Hampshire, which I still think New Hampshire, even though the Trump campaign kind of abandoned New Hampshire, I still think it'll be semi-close, just because of the nature of that state. And it was also a very strong RFK state. Like RFK had a lot of support from that state, and when RFK endorsed Trump, that's definitely going to help him in states like that. So I think he'll still be semi-close in New Hampshire. Just, he's not going to come close to winning it. And, okay, let's zoom in over here. Harris is going to get the Nebraska 2nd District. Trump is going to get Maine's 2nd District. And let's start over here for the swing states, the major swing states. Nevada, I think Nevada goes to Harris by slightly over 1%. And on the flip side, Arizona for Donald Trump by slightly over 1%. Now we go over to North Carolina and Georgia. I think Harris has a small chance of winning North Carolina. I just don't think this is the election where it flips. It could possibly become blue in 2028, 2032 maybe, but I don't think it'll go blue this election cycle. I think North Carolina is going to be I was about to say solid. I don't know why I was about to say solid. Definitely not a solid red state, but it'll stay for Trump. It'll stay for the Republicans for at least one more go round. Georgia, I think Georgia will be like pretty close. It'll definitely be a tilt state. I think it'll be tilt Trump, just because of the only reason Biden won it in 2020 was because of the major Atlanta turnout, because of COVID, and well, there's no COVID this time. So, I mean, Harris will still obviously have major turnout from Atlanta because she's well liked in Atlanta, but it won't be Biden 2020 levels of turnout that'll win her the state. So, I think Trump wins it. Honestly, I think Trump might win Georgia by the same margin that Biden won Georgia in 2020. Now we go to Wisconsin and Michigan. Wisconsin, surprisingly, I have Wisconsin as not tilt, lean Harris right now. And I actually have Michigan as tilt Harris. I have both, well, Wisconsin I have like 2% in favor of Harris plus 2%. And Michigan I have Harris plus like 0.8 or 0.7. And Pennsylvania. Okay, I, as well as so many other people, believe Pennsylvania will absolutely be the state to decide this election. And the last poll I saw from Pennsylvania before recording this video, Harris was up by 0.1. Harris being up by 0.1 in polling is not a good thing for her, because, as we know, polls tend to underestimate Donald Trump. So, for that reason, and yes, I haven't had this happen in a long time, but Pennsylvania, as of right now, just slightly goes red, and Trump wins re-election to a second non-consecutive term, 281 to 257. Honestly, I think this is the most I've had Trump winning by in the entire election cycle. At least as long as Harris has been the nominee. So, yeah, because like when Harris first became the nominee, it was close. Like, I had Trump winning, but I only had him winning by like 2. So, yeah, this is definitely Trump's most favorable map as of Harris being the nominee. So, yeah, I do think I think this election is going to be close. This election is going to be a very intense one to watch. And I think as of right now, if Trump can just keep his cool, not make any stupid gaffes like he has been doing, maybe attack Harris a little more on policy, because she's definitely got some policy you can attack her on. And let's see, we got the vice presidential debate today. So if Vance can perform well in that, as long as Walz doesn't perform well. Like, neither of them have to perform well, but as long as Walz doesn't perform well, and get major momentum for the Harris-Walz campaign, Trump has a shot at winning re-election. He has a genuine chance to become president again. And that's a little terrifying. Harris, she can win. I think both of them have a solid chance at winning. I would not be surprised if either one of these guys won at this point. I just think Trump slightly has the edge, like 51-49 is what I have in terms of odds to win the presidency. So, yeah. Pennsylvania, though, I believe will absolutely decide the election, unless Harris can hold on to Georgia. If Harris can hold on to Georgia, then it's over for Trump, because if Harris holds on to Georgia, I don't think Trump's winning Michigan. Therefore, Trump loses. Like, let's see, by default, if we flip Georgia, yeah, Harris wins. If we flip Georgia, Harris wins. She doesn't even need Pennsylvania. And if we flip Pennsylvania to Harris's side, well, now Trump needs to win Michigan, which is going to be severely hard for him to do. So, yeah. So, yeah, this election it's a toss-up election right now. It could go, honestly, either way. But as of right now, I have the electoral map, 281 for Donald Trump, 257 for Kamala Harris. Now we will go on to the Senate map. Ooga booga doo, we're here. So we got the Senate map. I'm also just going to start this off by filling in the safe states. Alright, we got the safe states filled in for the Senate. Now, one thing people are going to immediately point out, JJ, why isn't Nebraska safe? That's because there's a really good independent candidate running in Nebraska. I forgot what his first name was. Osborne is his last name. I keep forgetting his first name. But yeah, Osborne is an independent candidate. I believe he's caucusing with Democrats. But yeah, he's really well funded in Nebraska. And I've seen polls that have the race super close. Like, I think I saw a poll where it had them tied. Now, do I think that Nebraska is going to be a toss-up state? Absolutely not. I still think it is going to be a likely Republican state. I just wanted to point out that I think Osborne definitely has potential. So now we will get on with the rest of the states. Florida, I also believe, is going to be a likely red state. It's definitely not breaking for the Democrats in this one. Josh Hawley is going to easily... Wait, no, it's not Josh Hawley. It's, I'm going to come back when I remember the name of the guy. Don't quote me on this, but Rick Scott, I think. And now in New Mexico, Democrats are going to easily win that state. Same thing with Virginia. Hung Cao is actually a decent candidate for the Virginia Senate race. I definitely like the fact that Hung Cao is nominated. He's a solid candidate, but he's also running against incumbent Senator Tim Kaine, and Tim Kaine is going to mop the floor with him. Same thing in Pennsylvania. Republicans got a decent candidate, but they're going up against a very well-funded incumbent, and I don't think they have a shot. Minnesota, same story. And now we're on to the more or less swing states. Let's start with Texas. Texas, I believe Ted Cruz holds on to his seat here. I think it'll be close, but I believe that Ted Cruz will hold on to his seat by like 2 or 3%. Arizona, Arizona can be close. I have it categorized as lean blue right now, just because Kari Lake, like, it's weird with Kari Lake. In a way, she's a really good and also freaking terrible candidate. Like, I don't know, she's somehow both. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, I think Arizona will still definitely go blue for, Ruben Gallego. That's the guy's name. I'm not forgetting another senator, I swear to God. Okay, Nevada, I believe, is not lean, likely Democrat. I really like Sam Brown. I think he's a decent candidate. I don't think he's got a shot at winning, though. Let's see. And I also have Wisconsin and Michigan, both categorized as lean blue. Tammy Baldwin is going to absolutely destroy Eric Hovde in Wisconsin. And I'm not even going to try and name off the Senate candidates. I believe Slotkin, Elise Slotkin, I think is her name, is one of the candidates in Michigan. So there's that. Montana and Ohio, the two main swing states, I know both of these, all four of these candidates very well. Montana, we got John Tester versus Tim Sheehy, and in Ohio, we got Sherrod Brown versus Bernie Moreno. Montana, I believe Montana is going to be tilt Republican for this Senate race. which does hand Republicans the Senate. And for Ohio, same story but blue. So, yeah, I think Sherrod Brown is going to win re-election to the Senate. Bernie Moreno was absolutely not the best candidate the Republicans could have chosen for Ohio. Honestly, I feel like Vivek should have ran for Ohio Senate. I think Vivek would have actually been a decent candidate. Definitely better than Moreno, and someone who could have actually given Sherrod Brown a run for his money. But of course, no. And in Montana, Tim Sheehy's actually a decent candidate. John Tester is also a very well-liked incumbent. But I think Montana will slightly vote for Tim Sheehy, and Ohio will definitely vote to re-elect Sherrod Brown. This is my Senate map prediction. I have the Republicans winning the Senate, 51-49. Still fairly close. If Montana flips blue, at that point it is down to whoever wins the presidency. Which, again, if Trump wins presidency, Republicans get the Senate, Democrats win the presidency. If Harris wins the presidency, Democrats get the Senate. But as of right now, I have the Republicans winning the Senate. So now let's go on to the governor's race. Alright, here we are. We are at the gubernatorial race. So, okay, I don't have too much knowledge on all these states. But I think I got a solid idea as to where most of these are going. Utah, North Dakota, I believe are all going to be safe. I believe these two are safe as well. Vermont is actually an interesting story. Vermont is actually safe red because they have a very popular incumbent governor, Phil Scott, which, I mean, he's a very, very liberal Republican, but he is a Republican. And he is very likely to win the Vermont governor's race. And now for Montana. I believe Montana is safe red in this scenario, as is West Virginia. And then Delaware and Washington are going to be safe. And now we got the... Can you really categorize North Carolina as a swing state anymore? Like, I don't know, because... with what came out about, what's his name? Mark Robinson. What came out about him, about the whole, like, black Nazi and all that comments. Yeah, I think Josh Stein is going to crush him now in the governor's race. I still think it'll be, like... Yeah, it'll still definitely be below 15% just because it's North Carolina. But, yeah, it's not going to be safe blue by any means. That's not happening. Even in the governor's race against someone like Mark Robinson. But, yeah, North Carolina is a foregone conclusion. It's going blue in the governor's race, mark my words. Mark Robinson is not going to be the next governor of North Carolina. New Hampshire, now, I'm pretty sure, like... used to be North Carolina was going to be the closest state in the governor's race, but Mark Robinson kind of ended that dream. So now New Hampshire is probably the closest state. Even then, though, I think the Republicans will win the New Hampshire governor race. I think it'll be a little bit close. I think it'll be a tilt race. New Hampshire will. So yeah, in the governor's race, I have, well, of the governor's races that are shown, Republicans will win 8 of them, and the Democrats will win 3 of them. And New Hampshire could go either way. New Hampshire, it could go blue. It's most likely going to go red, though. North Carolina was close, but it's a foregone conclusion now with everything that Mark Robinson's been found out about doing. So yeah, this is the governor's race prediction. Again, I don't know a whole lot about the governor's race, but I feel like this prediction is somewhat valid. So yeah, this is going to be it for my October presidential, Senate, and gubernatorial predictions. I will see y'all in the next video, which will probably be my thoughts on the vice presidential debate. I might do that. I didn't do that for the Biden-Trump or Harris-Trump debates, mostly because I didn't watch the full Harris-Trump debate. I didn't see the full thing. I only saw like half of it. But I watched the full Biden debate, and dear God, that guy. That's what made him drop out. Like, debates don't have consequential results for the candidate. The debate was literally the reason that Joe Biden dropped out of the presidential race. Yes, debates have an impact if you perform that poorly. Like, if you have such a bad debate night that you literally drop out of the presidential race, yes, debates matter. But, like, and with the Harris-Trump one, at least from what I saw, I mean, of course, Trump was his usual Trump self, but, I mean, he was his usual Trump self in 2016. He still won. So, that doesn't really matter. And Harris, I mean, she definitely did a lot better than Biden. But, yeah, I think that debate didn't really change a whole lot, the Trump-Harris one. Because with the Biden-Trump one, yeah, it was obvious Biden lost. But the country can't seem to make up its freaking mind on who won the Trump-Harris debate. My opinion, I think Harris won the debate, just because Trump was being Trump. So, yeah, I believe Harris won that debate. But, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think, and I will post a video probably in a little bit about my thoughts on the vice presidential debate between Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. So I think Walz is honestly going to crush the debate, but I don't know. J.D. Vance, you know, as opposed to his presidential counterpart, J.D. Vance actually seems like a pretty well-grounded and respectable, you know, likable human being. So I think it'll be an interesting debate. I think they're both going to do great, but I think Tim Walz is just going to do better just because he's a more confident speaker, in my opinion. That's really it. They're both great speakers, but I think Tim Walz is just slightly better. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.